welcome to Buzzer Beater Leafs Edition. I'm your host, Louis Polyzois, and with me tonight is a good friend of mine who's also an expert Leaf analysis, Mike Whitfield. Mike, let everyone know who you are before we start.
Well, Lou, I'm a third-year kinesiology student at the University of Windsor and an avid Leafs fan for close to 2 decades, so hopefully I can answer anything you throw my way.
Thank you. Welcome, Mike. Here's how the show goes. A series of questions will be asked, and we both have about a minute to provide insight on those questions. Once the buzzer goes, move on to the next question. It's that simple. You ready, Mike?
Bring it on.
After having his number retired earlier this week, what will Matt Sundin legacy be for the Leafs?
Well, considering I've been a Leafs fan since I was a kid, and Sundin's been a huge part of that. He's been captain for over a decade, a couple 30-plus goal seasons, a bunch of 20-goal-plus seasons, a huge part of the offense during my generation watching the Leafs. And to this day, I've still never seen another Leaf dominate the way he does behind the net. There's just simply no way you're getting the puck off him.
Oh, definitely. His dominance with and without the puck has created chaos for the opposition day in and day out. Like, I remember vividly, like, when I was younger, especially watching every Saturday night and listening to Joe Bowen call his name, forehand, backhand, scores, Matt Sundin. His backhand was just phenomenal, and even a shot from the top of the circle. It's the best in which I've seen to this day. I just remember that game in Game 7 when he just put one right in top corner with that slap shot. So he's definitely like one of the best of all time.
Yeah, it's definitely a heavy shot. Gave the goalies a lot of trouble day in and day out.
Yeah, and like he's a real respected individual within the Leafs community, and that embarrassing last Saturday night was just the same, especially on the night they retired his number.
5-0 to Montreal.
I don't like that's just terrible. It's a shame he didn't waive his no trade clause either. Well, there's the buzzer. On to question 2.
Well, first of all, that whole no trade clause thing, he left a sour taste in my mouth, but he's still the leader of the Leafs, and he'll always be great in my mind.
Oh, definitely. Well, now we're going on to question 2, Mike. Next question. Does Dion Phaneuf have the potential to be the next great captain for the Toronto Maple Leafs?
Well, as we all know, when Dion came into the league with Calgary as a rookie, he was just dominant. Like, he'd lay the body like nobody else. Nobody else has ever seen anything like it. But since then, he's just been sort of inconsistent, even though he's had a positive year this year, scoring a couple goals, putting up assists. I don't know if he has that, I guess, X factor, you could say, to be the next great captain, such as Sundin or anybody else like that.
Yeah, besides him dealing with the media, I don't think he possesses the quality of a solid captain in this league. I agree with you, Mike. His rookie season was phenomenal, but ever since, it's been a roller coaster ride for him. To be a captain, I feel you have to be one of the best players on the ice at all times. He definitely isn't. He's way too slow, and he gets caught flat-footed too many times, causing a lot of goals. Yes, he does hit well, but his physical presence isn't that dominant within the league. The Leafs, instead, I believe, they need a playmaking defenseman. He has potential, but he cannot hit the net for the life of him. Like, Dion just hit the net.
That's just it. They got Lyles. He's been injured for half the year, which doesn't help. But if he can get them the puck, he's got a wicked shot. Just not very accurate. And for him to be one of the greats, considered one of the greats, he'd have to be, that leader that gets the Leafs to the postseason more than once in the next couple of years, and even win a Stanley Cup.
All right, Mike, let's keep rolling here. Who is the number 1 goalie at this point in the season for the Toronto Maple Leafs?
Currently, I gotta say Gustafsson, no question. He's been the backbone all year, playing 30-plus games, and he definitely has solid numbers. You could ask me a month from now, and it could be Reimer, who knows, or even a goalie they acquire at the trade deadline.
Oh, I have to disagree with you on this one, Mike. I think it's Reimer. I know he's been cursed with the injury bug, especially from that hit against Jonathan. He suffered that concussion, but you got to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's posted back-to-back shutouts with the second time coming back, and he was the go-to guy last year, and I believe he is the go-to guy this year. Like, he's just a proven winner in the league.
See, I totally disagree with you. Like, I know he's got the whole concussion thing, but he's only played, 50 games in the NHL total?
But every time he plays, he seems really good out there. Like, he wants to win. But his team doesn't seem to support him always,
Well, he definitely has the mental capacity, like being a Mormon or whatever, like not a crutch to lean on, but he's got the whole spiritual thing going for him.
Oh, definitely. His mental side of the game is great, and I think he possesses the physical attributes as well. It's just his team doesn't seem to come out and want to play with him whenever he needs a good game out of his team. Like especially his defenseman, like especially Dion. Like as I mentioned earlier, he's always caught flat-footed half the time. So how is he supposed to play well?
Well, there's no question that it's the Leafs' biggest question mark going into the postseason. Neither goalie has been consistent throughout the year, let alone seen a playoff atmosphere in ever. Like maybe the AHL or whatever, but it's just a whole different animal in the NHL.
Let's get on to the next one, Mike, before we start fist fighting or something.
All right.
Next question. Who in your mind do you believe has been the best Leaf thus far this season? Actually, Mike, I'm going to take this question. You sit back and relax.
All right, let's see what you got.
I believe it's Phil Kessel, definitely. The guy has 30 goals, which ranks him third in the league, 30 assists, 60 points, which ranks him fourth in the league, 5 game winners, ninth in the league, and 196 shots, seventh in the league. The guy's all over the ice. He provides an impact whenever on the ice, definitely. His speed allows him to create separation from the defense, and he generates a lot of offense. He's usually a part of a lot of goals and creates numerous opportunities whenever present on the ice. This guy's definitely the best player so far.
Well, believe it or not, I actually agree with you. Like yeah, I know. He single-handedly rejuvenated Lupul's career. Like when he was in Anaheim, he had that 120 goal season, then he got injured. 2 seasons he was basically non-existent. But now he's up there in the top 10 in the league in scoring. Not to mention the guy's blazing fast. Phil Kessel, that is. And his release, that would make Crosby drool.
You think, Crosby, too bad he's not in the league, or else I think he'd give Phil a run for his money in all these categories. But
all these
save that for another day. But definitely, people could argue Lupul as well. Like he's been having a breakout season, but no doubt, Phil has definitely rejuvenated his career.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you said, like Lupul's playing phenomenal, but that's always beside Kessel.
Yeah.
Like whenever he's not beside Kessel, he's kind of non-existent. So it always has to be like if Lupul needs some points, Kessel has to provide it, which he has, and he's definitely a dominant force. 60 points.
Well, the goals are there on the top line, but we need to get some secondary scoring if we're going to go.
Definitely, I agree with you. Here's a question that'll probably make you laugh, Mike, and the listeners. Will the Leafs make the playoffs this season, or will the streak continue?
I was kind of expecting this one. Well, let's see. If history is an indication, they have missed the playoffs every year since the freaking lockout. Never have really had a good team since. Optimistically, I would love to believe that this group of guys has what it takes to make the playoffs. But realistically, the Buds are in tough, as their division is a traffic jam in that 6, 7, 8 spot. And if they want to do any damage, they want to get at least 6th, because you don't want to be playing Rangers or Boston.
No, definitely not. You won't. Well, I agree with you. I think it's their time. 7 years, being a crazy fan, you just need to see them in the playoffs. Like, playoff hockey is just not hockey without the Leafs, and I think the main thing is that they need to find a consistent goalie. It's bottom line.
Yeah.
Let's get a guy who can win some games consistently.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Like, there's no reason why they shouldn't have a number one. You even got guys like Schneider and Bernier in LA and Vancouver.
Why doesn't Burke maybe do something about it? Like, let's maybe send off one of these guys and get a consistent number one goalie. Like there's no reason why Schneider should be the backup goalie for the Canucks. Like he's proven to be a starter in this league, but he's never gonna outplay Luongo. Obviously, Luongo's a franchise.
Yeah, and as a Leafs fan, like it's nice to see them in the playoffs, but I want to see them win the playoffs. I want that cup in my trophy case as a Leafs fan. And I won't settle for anything less.
Oh, definitely. Like, you don't want to see them going in round 1 and playing Boston getting swept. Like, that's no fun. We might as well not play and
you need the
get a better draft pick out of it.
Yeah, and we look at guys like Kessel, Lupul. Obviously, they're going to put up points, but you need that secondary, third line scoring as well if you're going to do anything.
Definitely. I totally agree with you there, Mike. Well, time's up now.